Just because with streams, when they finalize, sometimes the first 10 seconds and last 10 seconds gets cut off.
We're at 15 then.
Huh? That's okay. Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons. We are playing. Who wants to go around the table and say your name and then say your character's name?
Feels like
This is in fact
Brian.
that's getting better. See, and like you may think, oh, this dragon's really the problem. No.
I have problems.
The problem's in here. The dragon's in here.
Oh, no.
It's part of your soul, is what he's saying.
I think both problems.
It's not only part of your soul, but it can be eradicated.
With a little D&D sesh.
With a little D&D sesh, bro. Everybody's a little cool. Alright, yeah.
Okay, so who's going first?
I mean, I'd kind of like a rotation like that. Or so either one of you.
My name is Brian. My character is Orion. He's an Eladrin elf wizard, as of just now, a subclass necromancer.
Wicked. Alright, next is Ikeknik, I believe?
Yeah, Ikeknik, the dragonborn runaway servant monk.
Who is being played by Tyler.
Yeah, I'm Tyler. Hi.
What a cool.
And basically, I do flips and hit stuff.
Do flips and hit stuff!
And I'm dragonborn.
And he's a dragonborn. Next, we got Morgan.
Alright. Morgan, you already said my name. I thought I was supposed to say my name.
Well, you took more time now that you decided to explain that
I'm sorry.
to yourself.
Who?
Who are you?
Who?
Get off my lawn!
My character's name is Christina Spirit Forge. She is a dwarf paladin blacksmith.
Snap.
Alright, next. Aithni.
My character's name is Agni,
Yes.
and I'm a Asmer.
Osmer. I mean, pronunciation is all nerd semantics, but
Whomst are you?
I'm gonna go ahead and say Osmer, like Osmer.
Oh.
Leviosa.
No! You have the doubt.
And your name is Caitlin.
Yep, my name is Caitlin. I'm an Asmer. I'm also a sorcerer.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
You are indeed.
Who you answer?
Aren't you a specific kind of sorcerer? Aren't you a wild magic
Yes.
sorcerer?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Wild.
That's fun. I have to actually find the table for that. I've never used it before because I've never had a wild magic sorcerer. I'm excited for that.
Oh my god.
So
play
you will
something like that,
have to
so-
let me know when a spell is not a cantrip.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
It's gonna be like I just cast a spell.
That would be crazy if it
I
worked on
just cast a
cantrips.
spell.
Guys, that's just cast
And like a portal appears and you're fucking like in a black hole.
Oh shit.
In another dimension, you're like in a black hole in
He
hell.
disappeared into his own anus.
He's just a little bouncing ball with armor and a sword.
It's like sucking inward, just.
It's just a moving vacuum.
No, okay. So here we are. Who wants to give the recap of everything that happened? Or wait, actually, everybody's going to go around and give a recap of their backstory before they met the party.
Go where we started there.
If you want to see that actually play out, that happened in session 1. Also on the same channel.
Put a link in the description.
No.
No. I can work for it.
Clicking the link is too much work for people nowadays.
They're like, eh.
I've been doing this for a long time, and people don't want to click on shit.
No.
It's annoying.
Good point.
So, you want to start with your backstory since you started with the introduction?
Sure. I was living in a stronghold of Ozmers, and I felt something odd and I just felt that I needed to be somewhere. And trying to leave, I got shunned from all the Ozmers and they ripped the wings from my back.
That was the ritual of secrecy, right?
Yep,
I didn't write anything of it down.
I didn't either.
Well, I believe it was so she could forget the knowledge of her people being sent down to the realm below.
It was more so that she could look just like anything else.
Right.
She doesn't have her wings. Things with wings are usually weird. They just don't want.
There was like
they
a
didn't
knowledge
want
there.
their race being out there,
Right.
so they pretty much Michael Jacksoned her.
He? What?
Shimon.
No.
Shimon out of here.
Shimon out of here.
But we're going to go to, I mean, subjectively, but also like 100% the most boring thing that happened this session.
Ouch.
Your backstory, what happened?
Thanks. Well, you're actually right. I woke up and went to work,
I'm sorry.
and
I
then
didn't
had an
want it to
urge
be
and
that
then
way.
left
It's very
work.
mundane.
Yeah, she went to work. She was like, I'm out of work.
Taking a break. Dude, I gotta go.
She grabbed her hammer and then whoosh.
I had a feeling I want to go on an adventure, and I just.
I got it.
And then
Yeah,
she
yeah.
was gone. I had to make it dramatic somehow.
Welcome, Snitemon. Welcome.
Hello,
Aura.
hello,
Hello.
Next is Tyler. You want to give a recap of what happened during your backstory last session?
Okay, so as the camera pans in on Ekeknik during
I
the
lo-
last session,
No, this is really good visual stuff. Like, don't make fun of this because this actually works when you're playing D&D. To like get a visual scope of something like that.
Story time, children, close the eyes.
Like it works. It does.
had just got back and he from this meeting that was important and I needed to go along with as a servant so he could show me off and just be a dick with how he had authority over me and all that.
And he is a black dragon.
Yeah, big
If I
massive
remember
black
right.
dragon. And
What was his name? He had a badass name.
He did. His name was Malabolg.
Malibu. Yeah, I like that.
And so he lands in his little threshold, little cave, throws us aside, and gathers all his gold because he's really greedy with it and stuff. And so as everyone in our room, I imagine it's like a compound almost because there's a lot of things there.
Yeah.
That's
In
when
your little broom closet where he stuffs 20 dragonborn.
Yeah, it's real cramped. And that's when I get the pull in my head that I have to leave. And so I rush outside and it kind of splits off. And then to my right I see the cave and to the left is the open area, away from everything. And before I leave I decided to try and snag a little money because I'm going to be on my own.
And I thought you wanted to smite him a little bit.
Yeah, I was just being real spiteful, and I was like, fuck you, man. My riches. And in doing that, I woke him up, and I was like, shit! And I ran, and I covered myself up with sand to hide, and he, warned me of the nasty stuff he wanted to do, and, kill me and stuff.
I'm gonna lick your butt.
Specifically,
Let me get in that
forget my
anus.
name.
He's just like, All right.
But,
Yep.
after that,
Mildor.
yeah, my assistant,
Assistant. He
I
was your
guess.
Assistant.
And I consider,
He literally was his underling.
yeah. But I consider him my
Malibol had
closest
20 Dragonborn that all did separate tasks, but those Dragonborns also commanded mostly 2 kobolds apiece.
Okay.
He only had 1, and his name was Mildor.
And just before I bolted from hiding to escape, I let him know that I was leaving so he could escape with me if he wanted to, which he did. But then after that, I got separated from him by just a white flash, and then I was gone.
All right. Orion started his story pretty much waking up in his home, just another day. Except today was really special. He was 14 at the time. He was going on a fishing trip with his sister Irza, and this is a day's journey through the woods to a lake outside of their forested community. And upon doing so, he was testing out some of his newly honed abilities, and caught a really, really, really large fish, and was really excited to bring back its meat to feed his family, possibly make some gold and all that. So him and his sister, they bring all this back. They go sell some of the meat and race each other home. Now, his sister's a lot faster than he is. He's winded at this point too, so she's a good 30 seconds ahead of him. And he hears a scream come out of his house. So, terrified now, he's trying to use any energy he has left to get there as soon as possible. And upon entering his home, he sees just a bloody catastrophe in front of him. His family has been slain. His father's own scythe lie buried in his chest with him in his chair. His mother is on the floor with her wrist slit, and his sister is lying face down on the ground with their gold sack that they made selling this meat, and her heart missing. And next to her is this ominous book, something that's just, once he locks his eyes on it, he can't look away, and it's pulling him in, whispering to his psyche, telling him, "Come closer, aren't you curious?" He's horrified by what he's just witnessed, and opens this book, and is just greeted with utmost evil. There's this skeletal figure that's just...
That makes me happy
tormenting
because I
him.
literally used those words as the book.
Exactly.
The same words.
And in seeing this, it's almost instantaneous, but he feels like he's in a moment forever. He comes out of it, he's been entirely traumatized. His hair is like a bright white, and he feels this need for vengeance and to go. And so hearing the screams, city guard come in. One of his father's, I don't know, lieutenants or friends. What is your name? What we got for you here? Was it Keurig? Keurig. He comes in, asks him, says, "Orion, we know, like, they have some sort of clue about what sort of evils did this to my family, and he seems not so sure that I can do anything about it."
Did you say that he knew what happened?
That's something you had said in the last session. That's where I was trying to get the details straight. Like right before I teleported on out of there, he had said your father couldn't capture what it was. What makes you think that you can, or something along those lines.
Your father couldn't beat it.
Oh, as in like it bested him at this very moment.
Because your father was literally the strongest fighter
right.
in the entire well-known Eladrin
So nobody has any idea what happened. Just that I have this need to seek vengeance, figure out what happened to my family. I have my father's scythe and a poof. Only it's not white light that I see. I'm taking to this other realm, seemingly inside of the same book that tormented me, and
yeah, you're pretty much enveloped in a veil of black smoke and pulsing embers.
And I'm taken into this realm of the dead, basically. There's all of these hideous, like, demonic-looking monstrosities that are very large and just looming in the distance, torturing these things. It just seems like this plane of existence where the dead are just roaming. And my character, Orion, he ages here at least 6 or 7 years before he's gone through with the normal teleportation that everyone else has and is in the same present time.
At this point, yeah, he would have seen the bright light that brings him from there to the place he actually needs to be.
It was just like a time travel pit stop, it seems like.
And the whole thing, the only reason you're sane is because that magnetic force that you felt pulling you away, you focused on it, you know what I'm saying? and that's what kept your sanity.
Because I'm still working out the kinks of what I wanted to have been going on with him here, but I'm seeming like there's been some sort of honing on at least combat against the dead or something like that. Some sort of inspiration or something.
Some kind of, not necessarily combat, just like maybe like experience-wise as a character.
Right. Definitely some sanity loss, that's for sure.
Like maybe you're more familiar with certain types of enemies than other people would be,
Right,
because you've seen them in this realm and stuff like that.
That's a good idea.
You know what I'm saying?
Clearly, I had no idea what the orcs were. I just knew that I needed to kill them.
I mean, you probably would have seen some, but you wouldn't necessarily know what to call it.
I think at the time I was there, I just recognized it as evil.
Yeah.
Which might be problematic. If I don't
Of
gain
everybody,
some
you
composure.
know that these creatures are bad news. Because
Bad news
the
bears.
only things that you've seen in that place were...
Realm of Malevolency. Vernon was a good kid, by the way. Just want you to know that. Still
All right.
with us, Snyder Mom.
Who wants to pick up the portion where
It was a good one.
where you guys are all teleported to the...
Like after.
Everybody's teleported. What happens?
So, we're greeted with like a swarm, like a big crowd. It seems had gathered there. And they were all these like greenish, ogre creatures we'd never seen before, and a big one like steps forward a little bit and
Like much bigger. Like
Yeah,
12
Clearly
foot
in
tall.
a state of command.
yeah, and he like challenges us by like sending out people or creatures that want to fight us.
Like a cat playing with his mice.
Yeah, and we bested them easily. We fought them, and there were a few brutal murders in that battle, but we made it happen.
Much to the dismay of this large guy, who is, by the way, the only creature you could actually understand.
Yeah, which is surprising to us because we all had never seen anything like each other before, or what we were facing. And
The Osmer would have actually known about you, and you. Yeah, she would have known about you guys, but not the orcs. She would have no idea what they were, which freaks her out. That freaks her out. She has no clue.
but so after
What did you want? Yeah, I got you.
beat the people the creatures he sent out, he stepped forward and attacked me first, but I dodged out of the way, and then he was attacked multiple times, and then Christina bashed him in the face and broke his neck sideways. After running up his arm, I would like to add, because that was badass.
She ran up his arm, made the acrobatics check to do so,
Can't forget about the
and
nutshell.
then I mean, if you want to see, if you guys want to hear about this in more detail, there is an episode 1, session 1. Check that out on the same channel.
And after he like collapses with her like coming down as well, it was very cinematic in my mind. Then there was the white flash again, and we were all like, all the orcs were gone. There was just like the people we had killed, and then the dirt piles that they had indented into the ground. And we set up camp and got to know each other, and then I was like, all right, I'm done for the day. Knocked out.
Right. All right. So in this point, you guys, it's kind of daylight, and none of you actually see. I actually don't know if Osmer sleep or if they trance or not.
It would probably be written down in your feet or details?
If you don't sleep, it would be written down in your feats. Like over here. On the left side.
What would you say the time would
But
be?
otherwise, nobody would notice you go to sleep. Orion. And you're already awake by the time the others awaken. And you've been awakened for about 4 hours before anybody else even starts to make any movements.
I would say I look visibly distraught. I'd be kind of rocking around back and forth like this and just babbling about the bells. Sort of in a hushed whisper.
Right. So the sun kind of rises up higher and higher, and you see. Damn, I grabbed the wrong map. I really did.
Damn.
You see a large clearing around you, but you do smell the salty smell of an ocean nearby. But if you look in one direction, you can actually see blue, and if you look the other direction, you can see blue. And then if you look ahead of you, you see a large forest that is cutting this plain, and then you turn around and you see a large mountain on the other side with some trees dotted around the base of it.
Okay.
But it seems like the mountains are folding in on each other. You think there might be like some passageways in there and stuff.
Okay. I wouldn't say he's very much thinking about, adventure as of just now. He's
I just was giving you like a geographical
absolutely,
thing.
I would say
But
he would be more called towards
where
the
you are
forest.
in this kind of thing is you guys are extremely close to the mountains.
Right.
Probably about let's just say the mountains are very, very close. The trees are not too close. You know what I mean?
Right. It's a very pretty description.
Yeah.
I like how you've had like the forest here and the mountains here, and then water on either side over here, possibly.
So if it's a box, right?
Right.
South would be the mountains, north would be the trees, and then to either side would be water.
Okay.
And if you want to use the graph paper to kind of, these are the kind of notes you could be jotting down and stuff. I could be using north, south, and east and west just for like a directional cue for you. Even if your character wouldn't necessarily know that. So, we could determine that.
Sounds good. Okay, so where I'm at now, I would say I'm the first one awake, you mentioned?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say I've been up for, as you said, a few hours. I still haven't quite I feel there's something different with me, and I know it had to do with my broken sleep and the dreams I was having and just hearing these bells.
And probably like the fight before, you know what I mean? Like reinvigorated you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I'm looking at this just dried purple, well, obviously to me blood, just like matted everywhere, and I'm thinking, what happened to me? I lost it there because it wasn't explained on the recap. There was
a point in the
lapse
fight.
insanity.
There was a point in the fight where your character had gained so much bloodlust that he started
Just
hacking
mutilating
at a corpse.
an already dead orc.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking to myself,
I actually forgot about that.
yeah,
Good shit.
I should go find a stream, but I'm conflicted. Do I care particularly if I go without saying something, or should I wait for them?
That's you.
But
That is you.
this. No. This is all part of it. He's kind of back and
Oh,
forth.
he's
but
back and forthing himself.
There's this pull for some reason for him to just feel like he needs to wait. So he has, and it's been causing him to just viciously focus on whatever it is, this new feeling he has, and then all this just constant toming of these just ominous bells in his head.
Right. And over the time, while the sun rises, the bells kind of fade from your head. The sound stops ringing in your ears as loudly.
It's very faint.
Yeah, at this point it's very, very faint and everybody else is waking up. So you guys can interact with each other.
I'll let somebody wake up.
Can we all wake up at the same time?
I'll have an
Okay, well, I imagine
So
my
at this point,
character
your
just
character can wake up.
Okay.
like he's kind of has his head tilted up on a log or something, and he kind of just sits up and yawns very loudly with his long tongue like hanging out.
It'd be almost a little roll.
Yeah, and you see like little dribbles of green kind of come out of
Yeah,
his
just
mouth
like
and he wipes it
yeah.
as
You'd
it,
see,
as it
like
sizzles.
my eyes would flash towards you and just kind of, okay, like he's up. Look his way, look back.
And I quickly think to myself, okay, we made it through the night. Where do we go now?
Where do we go from here?
What are you doing?
Hmm?
You guys have permission to wake up?
I hit the snooze
Mhm.
button.
Yeah, whoever it is.
Yeah, so
Hit the
they're
snooze
still
button.
just snoozing away. You got this dwarf who like is just snoozing away, and
Yeah, and just this door
Hammer
snoozing
pillow.
away. Okay, I guess I'm gonna get up
women.
because I see the sun.
The sun's
obviously.
getting
The
in
sun
your eyes
kinda
at this
wakes me
point.
up, wakes
Yeah.
me up a little bit, and
Here, look at
I
something.
stay laid down for a little bit, but then I stand up and I'm curious as to where the hell am I?
Well, you look around and you see the same thing I described to Brian earlier.
Okay.
So you're like at the base of a mountain.
I still don't know where I am though. I'm
Nobody
somewhere.
does.
Yeah, exactly. That's
We're
why
all just
I'm
here.
still thinking, where the hell am I?
Okay.
And how
Would
did I
you
get
possibly
here?
voice
What
that?
is happening?
I mean, yeah, you guys can voice these things that you're thinking and like interact with these other weird people that.
Other weird people.
Speak your actions. Just don't
I mean, you guys have not seen others like you, except you. You know what everybody is. You got the Ozzy
I didn't know if
knowledge.
we had like separate tents or something.
You guys
think
don't,
I was
Or if we
being
were all
most
just like
we're at a
sleeping
camp.
next to each other and wake
You
up and
guys
be like, oh
must
god,
be
what is that?
don't even have.
You
any
remind me
tents.
of some of the creatures I've seen.
I don't know. Did you bring a tent?
They're
Well,
none were half as
my
small as
shiny
you.
glimmering
From
blackness.
neighbors. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm used to seeing you devour shit though. So I don't know. I suppose. I mean, I'm still not entirely sure of like what actions I should take. I'm kind of still in a unstable sort of. But for some reason, I feel this call to rise up to my feet, kind of crack what needs to be cracked, my neck, back, and all that, and I just sort of, I wouldn't quite say saunter, but cautiously make my way towards the lizard fellow,
In my terms, they're called a lelo.
the lelo. What up, my lelo?
I'm having a hard time getting
I would
into it.
just sort of
That's why
tilt
I'm
my head
like,
and say, you know,
I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
I've seen
I don't
creatures
know.
like you before, but
I'm sorry.
none of them seemed half as friendly.
You got into it earlier. You put on makeup and
Well,
everything.
I can
About,
be
like,
unfriendly if need be,
Yeah.
but now it seems
What does your
like
character sheet
not
say
the
to it?
time.
I mean to say is you're civil.
Optimist.
You might want to have more things
Well,
on there
yes,
than that,
thank you.
but
I can tell.
this should
I can
be
say the same
how
thing
you
for
act
you,
when you're
somewhat.
role-playing. You know what I mean?
Though
You know how that one chick
seem
when
to
she's
be
like,
losing your sense.
I don't know what came over me.
She's playing a character.
Hey,
You can play a character.
I'm actually very confused as to
Yeah.
how I came upon this group. I've been there for so long.
So you don't know where we are either.
I have no idea where we are. It
Wonderful.
smells familiar, but I can only remember that place.
It smells kind of similar to something that you're used to, but with more moisture in the air. You feel like wherever you are,
There's something familiar on the wind.
and all of a sudden, as you're contemplating this, a shiver kind of rushes down your spine as it smells like Malbolg.
Well, like what?
I just kind of my entire snout just kind of like goes back and forth. I'm like,
And yeah, it's definitely strongest coming from the east. And you see a large mountain range past a small waterway, and these massive mountains look very similar to something that you've lived with your whole life. The Maw.
well, I know we're not very far from my homeland.
It's quite a distance, but you can visually see these mountains.
They're up in the distance, maybe above the trees that you can
Yeah.
see.
Okay, so I relayed to Orion that I know the direction of where my homeland is, though I don't want to go there yet. Like, actually, now that he's
No
thinking about
trees.
it, a Keknik, it just dawns on him. What's my friend's name again?
Your
name?
Mildor.
Mildor.
Yeah, and he just sort of like shoots upward and kind of shouts, "Mildor!" Like he wants to go searching for him now.
BFF. Mildor.
That works.
Mildor.
But I know where that region is. Like I can visually see the region where I was before we teleported.
You can see the bordering mountains of it.
So I would want to
And
go
these
that way.
and these
look
mountains
for
are
him.
extremely different than the other mountains because these are massive mountains.
But my character comes to understand that that's the last direction he was in, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he kind of sits up and squares his shoulders and he's like, I have a favor to ask everyone.
I would just sort of look towards you and cock my head. Just silently urging you to go on.
Will you all go with me to the mountains to ensure that I can make it and also help find my friend?
I barely know you. I don't know if I want to put my life in danger.
Would you
If
rather
I'm
wander
wrong.
off in some other direction and get lost?
Well, either way, we're
I know
lost.
I know where that place is. Like I know what location it is.
How dangerous is it?
I'm not gonna lie, it's not gonna be your average trail hike.
Hmm? Hmm?
Do I know that he is a necromancer?
You know where you're at, actually.
I do.
Yeah.
You don't know me. No, but you know where he's from.
Mhm.
Yeah, everybody earmuffs except for her.
That doesn't help for you guys.
I mean, I guess as long as you guys don't
Exploit it.
exploit this,
Metagame.
yeah, you just don't metagame. But you would know pretty much the ins and outs of these races. You're actually in one of the grazing zones of a tribe of mankind, which are one of the most versatile races that come in the most varying groups that are actually most spread out amongst this landmass. And the mountains that you're at the base of is home to the gnomes. And if you just take this mountain pass, you wouldn't be far from a gnome settlement. But it looks very different to you from the angle that you are in.
Right, because I'm used to being able to fly over.
You're used to being in the air. You're used to the aerial view, but now...
So I'm kind of like, I
Direction,
think this
at
is
least.
where I am. If it
Yeah.
is, I know about it.
So you would know that this motherfucker isn't mentioning that Malbolg exists.
Right.
So he's pretty much trying to get everybody to go
He's like,
Brian, quit metagaming.
You know that, like, you guys are, like, right around here. And the only way to get back into the maw is to find a waterway that is literally thousands of miles north and then east. And then you have to go travel in a waterway for another mile or two. And then you have to travel another, like, 800 miles left. So it's like a giant wall where he needs to go. But also it's the same distance to the bottom of to the deepest parts of the gnome land.
The gnome land.
It's the gnome land.
The known gnome.
The unknown gnome land.
The unknown gnome. Oh shit.
The
So it's past
the unknown.
forest.
The unknown. We
Um,
broke it.
Doing it.
I don't.
What's the dragon's name?
Malabulg.
Malibu.
But that's just one of many dragons that reside within the deserts.
Our dragon-born friend is a Keknik. He's so
She
bad.
was talking about the actual dragon, though.
Right. So is he like the specific dragon to this entire area?
You know that his lair is near the mountains that you can see.
Okay.
In fact, one of the biggest mountains that you can see over the horizon might even be the same that he's carved out to create his home.
Who is your friend to you? Do you find them worthy of strangers just abandoning their own confusion to go and save?
I've known him my whole life. He is treated as an untouchable slave, but he's my friend. He worked under me, yes, and he did stuff for me, but that was because he respected me.
I had a friend too.
Is anybody like keeping watch or anything?
You mean like around us?
Yeah, like on your surroundings.
Well, right now I'm still trying to have this conversation.
Check
I
to see
was
what's
not.
going on.
'Cause
Okay.
I feel like we've gotten like 3 or 4 seconds of dialogue in and then.
All right, continue. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. No worries. But okay, so that's who your friend is, and I would say I had a friend too. And she was my sister. Here's the I don't know exactly who or what happened, but her and my family are dead, and I have no one to go back to except for my uncle.
Speak up just a little bit.
Oh, mumbles.
Mumble strikes again.
Oh yeah. Anyway, my friend was my sister. My sister is dead. I have no one to go back to except for my uncle, but I have no way of knowing if he's still alive. I don't even know direction anymore. It's been so long since I've been
Wait.
here.
Sorry to like interrupt and metagame like pre-conversation, but we actually did cover that. Like, there's a big enemy like of mine out there. I covered that right before we went to sleep last time, but I didn't say exactly who it was.
Okay.
Anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
No, it's good to remind people
Yes, definitely.
what you said is, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
If we follow you, I mean, who's to say this enemy of yours isn't just going to take us all on unawares?
Well, do you know your way? Can you get back home from this very spot?
None of this looks familiar to me. I have a feeling, but I can't quite take anything from it. So I guess in a sense you might be right in the fact that I don't really know where to go.
If you help me face this enemy, and you help me find my friend, and we defeat this enemy, you'll have shelter at any given point.
I know there's something that I need to kill. And if this is what I have to do to, I don't know, at least get me on my way to wherever that is, I suppose I can listen to this feeling. What do you two think?
Well, I don't think it's that bad. I mean, we killed some pretty big monsters yesterday. It
really
can't be
have
too
much of a
bad.
recollection.
We're cool.
Okay, full
As she wipes the sleep from her eyes.
Yeah. Well, we're good.
Oh, were they still asleep? I notice you don't really say much.
I'm more of an observer. I know that the ogres were quite a task. I'm not sure if we're really ready to face a dragon.
I don't know about quite a task.
Is this anything different from you?
And when she says a dragon, like that's a word that only you two know.
So you're kind of like, what?
Like a what? To fight a what? What's there?
Okay, I'll give you guys full disclosure then.
Please.
In my land, I am what is known as a dragonborn. Dragons are our superiors, and this system is dictated this way for good reason. Their size and power are much greater than my own. To see one up close for the very first time is daunting, to say the least. But with these new abilities that I've found, just quite spontaneously, I feel with a little more training and a little more discipline, I could take him on, or at least we could all together.
You don't know if you think that's true. Like Malabulg is fierce. You've never even seen him go to like 25% power, and you know it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, not to be a downer and say retcon what you said, but you would know the dragons, especially one as elder as Malabulg himself, who is the eldest of the black dragons. Age comes power, and he's older than you can tell.
So what's a dragon?
So what's a dragon?
Something that eats us for breakfast.
Yeah, you guys tend not to fly over the maw
Yeah.
very often. It's actually one of the main reasons you guys stopped flying over anywhere.
And it kind of intimidates me more than normal just because I'm used to being able to fly to get away. I have no idea if I can really escape something like that.
Yeah, you feel like something with wings is definitely better than something that doesn't have wings.
So this is a creature larger than yourself, stronger than yourself. What other abilities? What can he do? What are we up against?
Okay, at this point I start relaying in an earnest tone everything a dragon can do.
Wow, what the fuck that is.
Whatever
That-
they do.
What do you do with dragon
Through the
stuff?
story, I am describing it to you. I even say what he looks like. I'm like, imagine his scales. Now imagine them like rougher and like...
He's a large, like...
Picture me with wings and jacked and like... jacked! And times 5.
He's a large, 70-foot tall, like, when he stands up, being whose individual finger is probably the size of him. Like, he is an ancient dragon.
Something's coming to my mind.
He says, imagine that mountain lives in that mountain over there. And it can spit acid at you.
I've seen
Bear in
creature-
mind-
And it can take 3 actions in a turn. It's fucked up, bro. Not
Whoa,
to
heavy metagaming in the story.
Anyway, Okay, so taking all of this in, I was just kind of.
While you're doing that, and I see that you're just sort of so perplexed at this, I'm like, bear in mind, my friend is not at his lair. We got separated because we escaped. He's in those mountains, not in the lair.
Maybe we should just go somewhere else to try and prepare ourselves a little better. Like, maybe through the forest?
I've seen this creature before. I don't know if it's quite the same as you're describing, the same one, but I followed it. There's something new in that plane. It flew over me, and seeing it, I just felt a need to follow behind. The next thing I know, I'm where you guys are, and now I think it would be wise to take in our surroundings. Figure out if there's anywhere we could go, anything we need to do before to prepare. But I feel like this might be something we need to do. Or it might be worth dying for. I don't really have much else.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way, 'cause it's certainly an enemy that I need to face at one time or another.
I think my character is gonna be a little emo. Wait for a little while.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's safe to probably go elsewhere first, like through the forest.
You know that gnomes are like Canadians.
Alright.
So at
They're
this
super
point,
down for anything, really.
I actually want to
Why
do
are you saying that? Who's a gnome?
Hint,
She
hints
knows
from
that.
the
I
DM.
know that you're a gnome.
I'm not a gnome.
Can I do a perception check real quick?
I'm a
But the
dwarf.
gnomes are just up this mountain that you're at the base of, actually.
Troy,
Hmm.
I would like to do a perception check real fast to look around me, see if there's any smoke or any indications of other life.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, it's a D20 at my mind.
Plus your
D20 is correct.
Mm.
Plus your perception.
6.
6? You kind of see the remainder of a smoke cloud, but you don't know the origin of it.
So looking
It's
up,
off, you'd say the origin could be anywhere from like 100 feet this way or 200 feet back the same way. You know what I
so
mean?
here's what I would
Or
do.
not feet.
Leagues?
My bad. That was
Yards? Miles?
like yards.
Okay. So, in gazing up amidst this conversation, I would see that tendril of smoke and think it seems that there may be some sort of civilization near us. Maybe we'd best seek it out before we make any long-term plans.
Does anybody else want to make a perception check to see what he's looking at? Talking about the smoke.
Yes, I would actually like to do that, please.
Oh, I figured where I was looking to see it, and I'd be like, look over there! Anyway, what you see, friends?
I'll make one too.
I almost lost. I
Oh
rolled 6.
jeez, that's a freaking.
6 plus your perception.
Oh my god, everybody got 6s.
Oh, plus my perception. I forgot.
9, you got a 9.
Oh no, I have not. So yeah, I got 6.
We can't see very well.
And then I want you to roll a history.
A history?
Yeah.
Tell us all about it.
Tell us all about it. Girl.
What happened in the past year?
Girl. What happened in the
History?
past
Oh,
year?
it's under
Girl.
that. Okay. Alright, so what do I roll for that? A D10? Or
D20.
D20? I got a 2.
Oh boy.
And plus
Wasn't paying
you're, so yeah, I
attention
got a
in
2.
You know that two things could make fire in this region: gnomes and a tribe of humans. But that's all you know.
Alright.
So are you gonna tell us what you see?
Oh, yeah.
Conscience speaks.
Do you guys know what humans are, though?
No.
Nobody knows what humans are?
Man?
What is
Tyler
it?
had to describe what a dragon was.
Yeah, what the heck is a human?
Is it monstrous?
Wait, yes.
I will always remember this moment because of what you said. I put you in the position where you didn't know what a human was. You said, "Is it monstrous?" Perfect. Let's.
You're
We're
gonna be
done.
like kinda
We're
sort
done.
of.
The night's over.
Yeah.
We'll party. No more rules. Okay. That was really good though.
Is it monstrous?
It's kind of like, would I be considered like an enemy of theirs, or are they not supposed to know about my kind?
Well, I mean, the ritual is secrecy.
Right. Okay. But don't I still have like chunks on my back from my wings?
I mean, yeah, we're definitely probably curious about, that. I mean, I don't think my
You
character has actually
just
quite
say
gotten a
they're
good look at
Very
it yet.
much like you.
Yeah, they're okay. They're kind of like
Questions
me,
will be
but
asked.
Where did my lighter go?
Oh, sorry.
You bitch.
do I know?
Or
Yeah.
kind of like me, but taller.
Yeah, there you go. Like you, but taller.
Are these humans friendly? Or will they try to kill us like those things?
It's really hard to tell.
The tribe that you know would be around here
Mhm.
is probably one of the most savage but honorable tribes. But you don't know how xenophobic anything really is because they've never experienced anything.
They want to.
But they would be
Either
used to fighting
one.
beasts and nothing humanoid really,
Right.
unless it's, oh, well, I mean, that's pretty bad. Unless
You
it's
might
like
strike fear
evil.
a little bit.
But like a
I'll get
ghoul or
advan-
like a ghost or
advantage on
something that they
intimidation.
fight looks kind of
Face
human.
it, yeah, honestly.
But I mean, you just look like a short human. You pretty much explain this to everybody. You pretty much just look like a short human. You look like a human covered with scales and a snout.
Oh, a tall
You look
human
like-
with ears.
You
that
look
are
like a
pointed.
human with pointy ears and you're a little taller. And she looks like a human that's lighter in skin. And then you kind of put your hand over your face. You're like, me, like when your face is in the sun, and then you cover your hand and shadow part of your face, and then you point at the darker side, and you're like, human color.
Human color.
So you like cast the shadow.
Well, I mean,
You take your hand away. And
I
you
doubt
walk
all
below.
of these humans.
I'm looking
will,
at her
like, have
funny
the
because
same
I am the
exact
color
skin.
of humans.
Oh yeah, I forgot. So I'm sorry that I made your character do that.
You're racist.
You're a little redder actually,
Yeah, because I'm pale with, and I'm a redhead.
but you're a
Like, I'm
little
Irish.
redder.
I'm
Okay.
But they'll try to attack
Same
us,
color.
and we'll have to kill them all.
I mean, we don't have to kill everything we see.
Well, I mean, if savages
Well, if they
attack
attack us, if someone tries to attack me, I will not let them live.
Noted.
that's a good way to stay alive.
Whenever I'm through asking questions, I think we should probably just head that way and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine.
All right, what is the walking order? Who's going first?
I would say I just sort of walked off.
I want to
That
go
way.
first.
Maybe a quick glance back.
Actually, I'm gonna take a quick break.
Intermission?
Intermission, because I'm gonna use the bathroom. I have to use it really bad.
Okay,
That's
fine.
why I've been standing up here and there. So we will be right back. It's like 5 minutes. Okay, welcome back. We're back from the Samurai Jack. And
Lucky Fresh Ryan.
I still haven't seen the new
I haven't either.
season that was released for it all.
I was excited about
Yeah,
it.
I haven't
though.
either. I wanna...
Okay,
Isn't that
well,
the last thing they did?
that's definitely a train that was derailed faster than it was even. It literally just fell over at the station.
So we're walking here.
We're walking here. And so we got Orion walking first, Akeknik taking second, Christina with a K coming in third, and Eithne walking in the back.
Is there a tongue roll with that, Christina?
Eithne. Oh, Christina.
Why? Okay. So
Orion.
we are venturing towards where we see this smoke coming from. Where we know
The
that there's
grass is
civilization.
pretty tall.
Let's say it comes up maybe about like
Yeah.
waist high. So
Am
we're
I,
sort of
can I just not see?
Pretty much. I mean, they're trampling some of it down in front of them, but sometimes it just comes up underneath his legs, and it whacks you just kind of in the eye or something. But you've kind of figured out to hold your arm out, you know. To
Right, it's
kinda,
probably kind of like a
I would
cornfield
say-
kind of thing.
at this point after a little while I just take it like, okay, well this is tall. Here's my scythe. I'm just gonna drag it like blade sideways and sort of try to
Yeah.
flatten behind me. Like, here, I got you.
good
Thank
shit.
you.
Yeah. So you're
Short
si-
stuff.
You're
Got
using
you.
your
I
father's
could use my
scythe.
claws on the other side to like kind of help out there too.
And I would say he made this decision sort of absent-mindedly. It just happened. And maybe there's an instance of
His scythe-
perplexion
this
within.
war
He's just like,
scythe?
whatever.
That his father fought with. You're not familiar with a scythe like this, nor even a scythe in general. You're from the desert. But it seamlessly shreds a good like 2, nearly 3 foot wide path in all this grass as the stalks neatly fold over themselves off to the side. It's very ornate but large because it is a battle scythe of your father's, so it's not just a regular. You know what I mean?
Right.
Can we roll a perception to see if we can see anything over the grass?
Absolutely.
Or just, well, for me, like just.
Samurai Jack.
Me,
You could roll perception to see if you perceive anything.
Samurai
Oh.
Jack.
Which dice do we use?
20,
Just
unless otherwise said.
Alright. So I get an
Damn it.
11.
And the cool thing about having all different colored dice is you know which one is which.
And perception
Maybe.
is-
19 for my
So it's a
perception
12.
check.
That is a 6 plus.
And I get a
So
12.
9. I rolled another 9 in perception.
I would say, so
Well,
heading this
you-
way, did we go into the tree?
You hear. No, you went the other way.
Okay.
You went out towards the plains. You were already kind of near the trees, but you went towards towards the smoke.
Okay.
And you hear shouting, as they say. I read the comment. It made me laugh. What?
Thank you. That show was part of my childhood. So.
Fucking. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, the perception check that you made.
Yeah.
19.
You hear shouts in a tongue that you're not familiar with, but somehow understand, as they say, "Catch the beast! Get it before the meat goes bad." And you hear another voice say, "I didn't mean to hit a vital organ. It's not my fault." And you know if you eat meat that if you hit a vital organ, it's only so fast before the bacteria kind of spreads to the rest of the actual meat. You usually want to keep the stomach intact, the heart, the brain, because all those can release stuff that
That's
makes
why
the
there's-
food tainted.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you see these two guys chasing a rhinoceros who has stopped and kind of turned towards them and is getting ready to charge, and they seem surprised.
So this rhino's about to charge them.
Yeah.
Okay, so at this point, alright, let's see. Definitely gonna take an action here. Let me just. Do a little looky loo.
So take the words that I tell you, and then, from a character's point of view, describe it to your character like you were describing it to a 4-year-old. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, imagine I'm describing to you what I'm telling you as like I'm describing it to a 4-year-old. Like, the whole thing. But without the knowledge of what it does, and you know what I mean?
So different languages to what he heard just sound like very simplistic instructions.
You hear both. You hear the spoken tongue that they are saying, but you hear the meanings of the words.
Okay.
And it's very strange, but it almost comes as second nature.
Okay, so seeing this happening, hearing this situation, seeing this, I don't know if I would know that it's a rhino or not.
I just said, like, imagine you're describing it to your character as you would describe a rhino to a 3-year-old.
It's just basically like, here's what it looks like.
It's like, yeah, but you don't know what it's capable of, how powerful it is. Like, this is a pretty big beast, though.
So I would look at it and just try to, like, hearing what they said about the meat, I would just kind of, like, seeing they're about to get charged on, so I'm going to test my dexterity and take my dagger and try to, beforehand, how far away are we from
You're probably about 100 feet out.
putting that back? Okay. So I think at this point I just have this instinct to, I mean, we're still carving grass, so the short ones can move, but I kind of have this instinct to cut up, swing it over, and kind of run that way, like, holy shit, this might be a situation that could endanger us too.
Right, and you're the one who rolled high, so you could explain.
So I would say, we gotta run. I don't know, maybe...
Ashes. She looked at me and just sat down.
I say, I see them, there's a beast, they're in danger, we gotta go.
You don't want to help them?
I'm going towards them. That's
Oh.
that's a call to action,
Oh.
like, hey,
I thought you were
I
saying we
see
gotta
what's
get out of
happening,
here.
we gotta...
Okay.
Good.
So
I'm down
in
to
reaction to that, I want to say my character
Cinematic.
matches the pace of Orion at this point, and is now beside him.
Okay, so we're both sort of.
So do I
charging
see
at this
now
point.
what's happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're tall enough to easily see this large beast. But you didn't hear the conversation the people had. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I would say, watch its vital organs. Because, I don't know, I guess I know about huntings and stuff because of my dad's. You guys don't know that, though.
And I'm just like, well, at this point, we want to finish it off.
I need to roleplay a Toki character.
Yes. Okay, so, I would say, I'm getting ready. I'd say, shit. So we're charging the situation. I would sort of shout, "Don't worry, we're here to help."
They look to each other, and one of them looks to the other one, and then looks back to you, and the other one is just dead staring down this rhinoceros in his eyes as he's pounding the ground, bringing it up beneath his large whatever that is that they have. I don't know. It's like a hand, but just smashed.
So
I don't. It's not a hoof.
It's not a
It's
hoof?
just. It's got nails, but they're like
Like an elephant foot?
if
It's
somebody
kinda-
punched
See
a
me,
nail.
see, I really just, it's kind of like
Smush
as
hands, yes.
I'm charging, I kind of just like make a face and just kind of, I want to swing around into it, like try to get its head.
Okay, now that you're close enough,
Shouldn't you roll?
roll initiative. Dun, dun,
Is
dun,
there
dun.
is there any way it could be like a charging advance kind of thing for cinematic purpose?
A what?
Like an advance and charging sort of for cinematic purpose, where like,
Yeah.
as we were in that order.
Yeah.
Alright.
I don't know why I just rolled all my dice. That was a little excessive.
Ooh, I got an 18.
I was like, yep. Ashes. What are you getting in trouble?
What are you doing? Hey.
Mayonnaise, get out of here.
10.
So
Okay, so
I got a total of 21.
I got a 7.
11.
Dang, what do you roll with for your...
what did you get?
Proficiency
What
plus
did you get?
2. I got a 19.
No proficiency.
Okay, I hate initiative. This is definitely my kryptonite for D&D.
I'm a 7.
It's because I can't put them in order and get the names to the numbers.
I think she has the lowest number.
So you get
So just basically say your number and remember it so I can ask you, I guess. I really...
Here's my dice. It's a 19.
Well, don't forget you add your initiative to that. Oh yeah, that's what you said. You got a 21.
It's a plus 1,
What
so
is
I
it?
got 12 then.
Oh shit. So, at the bottom.
Okay, -1, so the rhino got a 10.
That was one of those.
Okay, what did you get?
12.
I already said my initiative. Did you already?
What is it?
That was a 10.
10?
Mm.
Roll another one. Roll another one. It was the same thing. You guys have tied 3 times now.
9, 10.
15. Okay, so you go after the rhino.
Might be too late for Mr.
Man, I apologize. I hate initiative.
That's okay.
He's either Skeleman.
Eventually.
What did you get? 7.
Is he even?
Usually that would be a pretty good roll.
Usually.
Dun dun dun.
Stumbles on a bit of rock before he can get to. It was too late.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me, someone's calling me.
And to mute it for copyright reasons. Possibly.
I'll also have to put my, ironically enough, put my phone on DnD or Do Not Disturb.
Yeah.
Top drawer.
Top drawer, sir. Top drawer. All right, everybody. What do you want to do? Akeknik, you're first.
Okay, so I want to use one of my key slots to acrobatically jump and do like a flying Superman kick to this rhino's broadside. Yeah.
Dragon kick.
Yeah. Basically, Falcon.
When you
kick.
say the way of the dragon, you mean it.
Yeah. You gotta mean it.
Crouching tiger, I am just a dragon.
And I will fuck you
I
up.
want to play an actual dragon with the class monk. Not a dragonborn, not a dragon.
Right.
A dragon. Okay,
It's
go
just
ahead.
it's
I'm
just
sorry.
like
That'd be intense.
a dragon with 70, scaling robes that are just like, because they're so big.
You gotta knit them all
Stands on a
together.
mountain. Making this
Of course.
Okay, let's go.
Oh damn it! 4.
All right, describe cinematically how you Miss it. You're within 11.
He goes jumping over him. No!
Wait, I know I have like 3 of these things.
You run, and as you run to
Can't
get
I use
your footing,
another key slot to re-roll or something? I thought I read something about that. I'm not sure.
all your stuff is right here, bro. As much as you can do.
I don't know. It's just plus my dexterity. Never mind.
I mean, what did you roll?
4 plus.
Plus 2 is your proficiency, plus your dexterity. So that brings you up to a 6.
Yeah, I still didn't hit him.
And then that's a 10? No.
So I kind of just misjudged like the power of my jump because I'm new to this. This is like the first time I used it. So I'm just like, okay, so here's a rhino. I kind of like jump over him and just do kind of like an anime land, like on the other
Like
side.
you land on the other side and you slide as dirt gets pulled up with your claws as you lose momentum quickly.
Yeah.
And you like lift your head up and you like.
Quick question. With each roll, you add your I mean, when it comes to initiative and stuff like that, do you add your proficiency bonus to everything?
What?
Is that something you add?
Pretty
like,
much
in
any
this
D20 roll.
Any D20. Okay.
Well, with magic it's different because your
Well, I mean, like,
your spell thing, your not your spell DC, but the next thing, is automatically has that all built into it.
alright, cool.
So when you tell me, I'll tell you. You know what I mean?
Alright.
And then you'll just pick up on it. Next you still have what did that? Was that your bonus action or your action?
Oh, it was actually my bonus action. So no, I'm on the other side of this rhino. Just but I can actually move again with just my normal attack, which is an unarmed strike, I guess.
Yeah, punch his ass.
Just punch him right in the ass.
No, not that kind of game. Not that kind of game. No,
Not like
flashbacks.
not like this.
I put my arm in his ass.
Okay, that was a 15 plus like.
You hit him.
Okay, so
I mean, with your normal, you could use your staff. You don't have to unarmed strike him, but what?
I still
it's
add
right
the
here.
proficiency to that.
Yeah. I mean, you hit him with the roll anyway. But okay, it's 1d4 for an unarmed strike. I just wanted to figure that out
That's what I thought it was.
for yours. As a
1
monk.
plus, so a total of 4.
Yeah, you're right. So you deal 4 damage to the beast as you
in like the jaw, I guess.
you punch the rhino in the face.
Yeah.
That's awfully close to the knee.
So it's 4 damage, you said?
Yeah.
You punch the rhino in the face, and it kind of rocks its head back a little bit, and it turns to look at you. Next is one of the men, and he's going to be the one who is moving his head back and forth to look at you guys and his dude, and who's staring down the guy. That's very descriptive.
Picturing this scenario now is actually kind of funny from an objective perspective. Like, oh man, this rhino is about to kill these 2 guys. Dude, he's coming in with a kick. Oh my god, he missed. Oh no. Oh, he just punched him in the face. Oh, he's looking right at him. Oh no.
It's a viral commercial. Doritos.
15% or more. We switched to Gecko.
This guy ate Doritos. Now he's a dragon monk.
Oh my god.
Punches rhinos in the face.
Yeah, you're
doesn't
right.
care.
That was insane. He actually laughs out loud at what happened, but then he looks at his master who's still staring down the rhino, and he's like, and then he looks back at you, and then he sees what you are and realizes that you're not, what they are. And he seems to express his concern by kind of going up to his master and kind of shaking him, being like, "We have to go. There's threats here we don't understand. What is this? We have to go."
And I kind of, like, I glance back just for a quick second. I'm like, they don't understand us. Like, I just note that to myself.
Well, nobody's said anything to them yet.
I don't hear that.
You hear what they said.
That's his response to that. To himself?
Yeah, I was just making note of that.
Right. Next is Aithne's turn.
Magic missile, the rhino.
I'm cooking it for you now.
Alright, you know how magic missile works?
It's a d4 plus 1 force, it says. So...
Yeah, I don't think you roll to hit anything with a magic missile. I'm pretty sure it's just you do it. You create 3 glowing darts of magical force. Each dart hits a creature of your choice that you can see within range. Each dart does 1d4 plus 1 force damage to its target. The darts all strike simultaneously, and you can direct them to hit one creature or several.
Damn.
Right, so I'm just going for the rhino.
So
you can roll that 4 times.
I did.
3 times.
3 times.
3 times, alright, that one.
So that's a 4 plus 1, 5.
And then 2 plus 1.
3 plus 8.
And then there's a 1.
10. Okay. Yeah, you want to explain to me what happens to create this magic missile and how it looks?
Created. It's your own spell.
Create your spell, girl.
Create my spell. Oh man.
Just scribble that shizzle.
Just scribble that shizzle.
The blue shizzle. With like a beam of light. It just comes out. Am I like? You said my spells like originate from my feather.
Well, it's like 3 missiles.
Okay.
So describe how those look. And like what you did to form them. You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to necessarily think missile.
Right.
Just
I'm thinking
It's
like
or
blue,
honing
giant,
magic.
a projectile
giant
of some
blue
sort.
light, like shaped like arrows.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that.
Absolutely.
That
Yeah.
looks badass.
You like just wave your hand, and in the air in front of your hand, 3 large blue ethereal arrows kind of are formed. And as you raise your hand, the arrows all raise one behind another, and you kind of move your hand towards the beast.
And they all fly.
Each
towards
arrow kind of impacting the rhino in its kind of back region, and they all impact all around. Each one hitting, causing the rhino to kind of jerk back further and further. And when the last one hits, you see the arrows kind of shatter and they explode, and then sends him kind of reeling back a little bit. Now he's kind of cocked a little bit
towards our direction.
Yeah. You kind of steered him away from looking at these guys and more towards looking off in between you guys and them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right. Okay.
Next would be the rhino. And I think he's pissed.
Probs.
He is going to charge, not charge, but he's going to kind of swing his head in your direction. Ekeknik.
Wait.
I brace
I
myself.
would like to use my reaction to give him a disadvantage
Surprise, motherfucker.
What do you mean?
with protection. If I see a creature attack an ally within 5 feet, I can use my reaction to cause a disadvantage for the attack. So, yeah. Watching it happen, I would...
What's it your turn?
My fighting style, protection.
When a creature you see attacks an ally within 5 feet of you, is he within 5 feet of you? Are you on this rhino's ass like he is?
Yes. Nobody told me where I was, so sure.
We're still charging him. You guys are still in line. How you guys were? He leaped in front of me with the kick while I was still.
I mean, he moved and you didn't, so he's not within 5 feet of you anymore. I'm sorry.
Magic missile, that's a projectile, so she could have done that while on the move as well. That has to do with range and abilities. With what you're trying to do, I guess.
And he is going to... Ooh, so close to a crit. So with his bonus and everything, he ended up getting a 26.
Training.
D8. Where's that at?
Should I block any of this?
You take 5 damage.
Okay.
He did really good on his attack rolls, but the other rolls weren't too great.
My turn again? Or
It is Orion's turn. No, I spent so much time on initiative this time, I didn't want anybody getting skipped. Sorry.
Okay, so at this point, what I'm going to do is seeing that this thing is obviously very pissed off, and having now just reeled its head back that way, so it might not necessarily be focused on me, still charging towards me. I want to do a winding sort of like down into its jugular with my scythe as I'm charging on him. So I'm gonna roll for that.
Do your scythe damage. Well, what'd you roll?
14.
Hit.
Then I got a
Yeah, you hit.
scythe damage.
High enough.
Pretty much shit. I have it written down here. 2d4 slashing damage. 4. So 2d4 slashing damage plus 1, so that makes 6.
6 damage?
Yeah.
Alright.
Wait, that's a normal scythe. Would a battle or war scythe have
I just-
different?
Made it ornate.
Okay.
I mean,
Right, I got you.
I made it have meaning, you know what I mean?
No, I got you. Okay.
Next is this man who is staring down the beast, and when the beast was kind of moved to the side with these blasts, as soon as the concentration is broken, he rushes forward with a large, jagged black kind of blade, and he's going to charge in and try to leap onto the rhino, sticking the blade into its back as a kind of piton in a cave wall.
Okay.
And a piton's one of those things you hammer in to tie ropes to.
Wants to be able to rock climb down the side.
And he's gonna hit for sure. So I can't believe I'm writing this down.
So it's safe to say, charging him, he might have jerked out of the way, and I only got a glancing slash.
Yeah, you didn't necessarily, like, his hide was a lot thicker than you expected, for a beast. This is a lot thicker hide than anything from where you're from.
So I suppose you've already moved on to this other action. Never mind.
And at this point, you see blood kind of leaking from the wounds, kind of covering the creature.
I take note of the color of every blood.
It's red. It looks normal.
Yeah, I mean, I would know that it's Brian, but it's just something about the character he's intrigued by.
Next is Christina, who rolled really low on initiative.
Yes, I did. Alright, I'm gonna look at this rhino. How far away is this rhino from me?
The rhino is probably about 30 feet from you.
Alright. I'm gonna look at it. And I'm gonna turn to it and I'm gonna say, down! Bad dog! Down! And I'm casting command.
Okay.
Which I'm using that interface
Yeah,
for
you're
grovel.
gonna.
So he would fall prone.
Are you gonna
for
tell me
his
what
next
happened? How it works? How the spell works?
Oh, how
That's
the
good.
spell works,
Why
I
are you
say something and the creature does it.
That's not it.
Oh, and it must make a wisdom saving throw.
That's
Sorry, I
D&D. Okay. I'm not sure how wise a rhinoceros is. Is there any stipulation that it can't be cast on something underneath a certain amount of wisdom? Oh, actually, apparently rhinos are pretty wise.
Oh, what?
Smart
What the fuck?
Yeah, he doesn't make it though,
Oh, okay,
and he
cool. Bad dog.
like
I don't know what kind of dog it is, but bad.
he lays his stomach down in the grass and sets his head down.
He's like, I'm dying, but this is okay.
That would be my action.
You didn't really explain how the spell would work.
Yeah, give us an illustration.
Following the command on his next turn. Okay. Spell has no effect if the target is undead or does. Oh no, it doesn't understand your language,
What?
so it doesn't work. I mean, you could read more than the first 3 lines. So what do you want to do?
In that case, I'm going to... I'm going to run towards it, and I'm going to hit it with my axe, or my mace, or whatever, my hammer. I rolled an 8.
You know anything
And you
to it?
rolled an 8.
Yes.
You know there's stuff you put on that.
10. Plus proficiency, right?
Plus proficiency and your strength. So
15. No, 13.
13. Yeah, you hit it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And
Don't
you
you
just
want
hit it.
to-
You don't.
What do you mean I
You're
don't?
just hitting it with stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I had my other plan thought out very well, and I couldn't
Had
do
a
it.
hammer.
So 6. 6 damage.
Nice. Plus your strength.
Oh, plus my strength again. Cool. 9.
All right. So do you want to explain how you hit it with your hammer, or you just hit it with your hammer?
I'm assuming it's much taller than me, so I kind of hit it in its like abdomen area,
You go
as high as I
underneath
could
him.
reach, I suppose.
No jumpy jumps. Aye.
Why is basic math fucking?
You need yourself a calculator.
It shouldn't be this hard. There. Okay. I know what it is. Next is a Keknik.
Alright, I'm gonna use another one of my key slots for my flurry of blows, but it's gonna be like roundhouse kicks.
He's gonna be doing like a pirouette, just kicking him in his fucking face.
It's
Twirling
like that
around like a
scene in
ballerina.
You Don't Mess with Zohan.
Oh my god.
Was that your other leg?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yes.
So I'll roll for that. 19.
And remember, that's just your bonus action. You still have your regular action too.
Yeah, and that flurry of blows is 2d4, I think. Pretty sure.
Wait.
Plus my strength or something. Or dexterity.
Yeah, it's a bonus action, so you still have your main action to attack with your staff if you want.
Did I get that right?
But you have to roll a d20 for each one of those attacks.
Oh, for the... Okay.
So the
So
one
Those
was
are
a 19
two separate attacks.
plus.
And then you have to roll one for your actual action attack.
Oh, the second one didn't hit then.
Well, what's your stuff?
Plus
I mean, honestly,
proficiency.
this thing is
Plus 2
really
plus 3.
not hard to hit.
It's
Yeah,
a total
no.
of 9.
No. And then, so one of your punches lands, one of your kicks lands, and one of your kicks does not land.
Okay, the first one doesn't land, and then I hit the second one, rebounding. 3 plus 2 plus 3.
No, not your proficiency, just
Oh.
your strength.
So 6. 6 to the face, and then I'm gonna swing back around and hit him like with my staff, like right by his eye, I guess.
Right. Whack him on the noggin.
Yeah,
Bonk.
15.
Hit him. Good job.
So that's 1d.
8.
Yeah. 5 plus 3.
Yep.
8.
Describe how you whack this rhinoceros in the head and it kills it.
Oh jeez. Okay. So I think it was the second kick that just just totally dazed him, you know? Just like he's seeing stars at that point. And so when I swing back around and connect with the staff, it just sort of cracks his skull
Yeah.
right on the side, so it kind of like breaks his jaw in, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Smush.
And he collapses.
In a heap.
Yeah, with a big thud.
Bang bang.
As he does this, the man that was latched onto him kind of snaps off his black sword as he tosses the handle. Huh?
The hilt.
Yeah. He tosses the hilt and the guard and everything kind of off into the tall grass as the smaller kind of tanned skinned pelt wearing humans are talking, and he says, "What are they? Who are they? What happened?" And he says, "I don't know, but we killed the rhino. Whoever they are, they might have saved our lives. We thought it was already injured enough, but it seemed like it was just feigning it. Shouldn't be long till the rest of the pack is here. And then when that happens, we can harvest the meat and go. But until then, we have to set the flare." And he grabs this powder out of a sack on his side, and he throws it up in the air. And right when you expect it to like fall down, it just keeps going into the air and keeps flying, almost like it's lighter than the air itself. As he kind of you see him tighten the pouch up again, and there's like a powdered residue kind of lifting up from where he was standing, and he goes around and kind of pulls up some of the things and the grasses and twigs and stuff, and kind of starts lighting them on fire using his something on his utility pouch.
Like a flint and...
Yeah,
Yeah, I got
He's
you.
got a couple rocks in another sack that he pulls out and starts whacking together.
Whack 'em.
And the smaller one, his eyes do not leave you. But the older man seems not to mind. As he kind of prattles on about, look, what? You know what I mean?
At this point, I would say you need not fear us. We're just. I don't know if I would need to roll persuasion. I think I would like to do that, honestly, because I'm a little high up there. I mean, just to make sure that we realize, hey, we're not here to harm you, but hey, if you can help us in any way, I'll get it. However, that's an 18.
You rolled an 18?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
Alright, so right now, I want to make sure that they're convinced that we are of no threat to them, and that they should help us in any way that they can. Because, well, I mean, just to ensure that there's no, like, that creature is a weird lizard, and it's gonna kill us and eat our babies. You know,
The smaller human notices that you speak its language, and it seems like shocked. But immediately when he sees this, he almost does a strange salute where he kind of lifts his hand up like this, like almost like a claw, and he says, "Thank you for helping us. We were probably goners." As he's still visibly shaken from what happened.
I was like, you can breathe now. We were on just trying to find our way, and we saw it happening, and we had to intervene.
The older man speaks in a gruff, hushed tone, and he says, "You helped take out the rhinoceros, so it's only fair that you get some of the meat. You can wait here with us while the rest of the clan come and harvest."
Am I able to understand what they're saying at all? Am
Yeah,
I able to
you
understand
all
them?
are able to understand this.
Okay, cool. Just making
It's
sure.
at this point that I would kind of look towards the rhinoceros, possibly where the magic missiles had hit, and it's seared. There's that smell, and kind of absent-mindedly taken aback a little. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
familiar smells.
Well, I could certainly go for some rhino meat. You said it was a rhino, right?
I seem more distraught because of it, but I have to shake it off. And
After about an hour of waiting, the man stands up and he kind of turns to face the west as large carts are being like pulled, and these carts are about 30 feet wide and about 30 feet. These are like square. These are moving houses, pretty much. You know what I mean?
okay.
And they come over the grasslands as the wheels are specially made to trample and grab at the dirt beneath the grass. It seems like they're well attuned to this place. And they kind of pull up and park next to the rhinoceros as people that look extremely similar to these men pour out, and they kind of come and meet the two men, but a lot of them are standing back noticing you and whispering, but some of them don't mind seeing that their friend is okay and seeing the hunt had gone so well. More other people are pulling out knives and starting to fillet the skin and get the meat out of the rhinoceros.
Does it look like there's anybody that's like a leader of some sort in this group?
No. You don't
Any
see
sort of,
anything that would.
Just a random amount of people. I can't. I was gonna
Well,
roll for like perception.
Seeing the people gather, I'd bow in just trying to show body language that I'm not threatening right now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anyone among these people that could sense something about me and maybe need to maybe have their attention called? Maybe somebody of a more spiritual, like a healer or nothing like that. No, these are just some people that are getting by.
No, they seem like for right now, all you've seen is what you've seen. You know what I mean?
Oh. Good point. Good point. So that we probably still have some.
You've only talked to one person of this entire race of people that you've never seen before.
There's just so many people. I don't know who to talk to first because none of them are leaders or anything.
I would
There's people.
look towards the older of the two, and that's it. And looks like you guys are well prepared for transporting this. Should we go to where? Damn, my words are hard right now. Apparently, should we go back to your settlement and talk there? I mean, we're kind of.
He's listening to you, and you're following as he like got up from his campsite and started walking over, pulling out his larger dagger towards the beast. And he the only thing that makes him kind of like stop and actually look at you weird is when you say settlement. He says, I understand your tongue, but I don't know that word.
I would say camp.
Camp is everywhere.
So you travel.
Home.
Nomads.
Wait, you don't have a home?
He points to the two large moving houses.
I would say, is there any particular reason why you move around so much? Is it just the way you like to live?
The way we were raised, the way all of us were raised was never to stay still. We have to move like the water, like the trees. We have to move like everything does. It is the only thing we've known. And it's worked out great for now. Right, boys? And then you hear cheers, and then they get back to cutting the meat off of the rhino.
Alright. So taking this in, I'd be like, do you have any advice, any direction to give us in terms of getting somewhere where we can maybe rest up safely?
He looks at you and he says, if you hadn't shown up, I would have nowhere to rest safely tonight, except maybe a shallow grave. Or under the foot of a rhinoceros. And he says, you're all more than welcome to stay near our camp for the night if you need to do so. Unfortunately, things inside are a bit cramped.
I appreciate that. I was more or less thinking of somewhere, a city, a town, a village. Somewhere where there's...
He gives you like a blank stare, like, I was with you up until these words.
This is where I kind of jump in and say, please, you have to...
It's like when an Italian gets mad and they just change languages.
we got separated. We all got separated from our homelands.
That's what I was thinking.
And we're just trying to all regain something we've lost. We need supplies or just something to help us along on our journey. Is there anywhere we could go?
He says, we travel the plains, but we don't travel anywhere past the Grand Forest or anywhere past the mountain. And we don't like the sea very much, nor what it tastes like.
Why? Why don't you like going past the mountains? What's past the mountains?
It seems the further up the path you get, the colder it seems to get as well. A lot of people have speculation about what might be past the mountains, but for now it's just ghost stories and stories of the end of the earth.
That doesn't sound like too much fun. I wouldn't go past the mountains either. It's okay.
So, is there any place in the plains that would have merchandise, supplies, food, anything to help?
He looks at you and says, I'm going to be honest. You may be scaring some people here, and the only reason I'm putting up with it is because you saved my life. If you hadn't have done that, I don't even know if we'd be talking right now. You look like something, and he gestures to most of you, that I would kill on sight.
Suppose you can't make a judgment simply based on appearance these days.
I asked them if they'd be willing to show us a way through the forest so we could find our own way to get to a settlement. Just because if we're going into the mountains, we should be better prepared than we are now.
You would know that the gnomes are beyond the mountains. It only gets cold until you get past the pass, and then you just keep going. But they're pretty much their big city thing that is on this wagon just isn't good for rolling up the mountain, and it's better to stay where they're at. They're doing good. So they just don't really leave. And nobody's really checked up too high up into there. But you know it's possible. It's not the end of the world. It's not like a flat cliff or anything. It's, you know what I mean? And the gnomes are pretty hospitable people.
So should we towards the mountains? Is that what we'd be willing to do, or are we going to look for something elsewhere?
Forest? Still?
I don't know why.
I mean, we haven't reached the end of the forest.
You're not in a forest.
We're in the plain.
Yeah, I would say right now it's still daytime, so yeah, we could probably pack up some of the meat and then head that way. Ask him for any advice on things to avoid in this area if there's, certain other types of creatures that may be an issue or possible hunting for further. Any advice that he can actually offer us about the area would be good.
As soon as you bring up creatures that you might want to watch out for, you hear screeches from tufts of grass as you see very swift movements, and you see a man kind of walking back from going to the bathroom, and he just disappears into the tufts of grass as you hear him scream, and then it's silence. And then you see it start to move again, and a couple more start to move.
So it looks like it's time to leave, or
I look
possibly
back
try to
at the
kill
guy
these
who
things.
just kind of
like that it just like talked at me aggressively, and I look at him and I say, by the way, I don't think you could kill me on sight if you tried. And I do like, cosmetically, I do like, you know, one of those Dragon Ball Z aura charges, but it's just sort of like air just like whooshing outward,
Right.
coming from me. So like, I'm prepping myself.
And this is when I would pull out my scythe and sort of look around like, okay, now I want to do, shit. So it's still pretty decently lit outside then, daytime.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's surprising that these things are doing what they're doing without being able to be seen.
So
They
they're
must be
very low
fast
to the
and low to
ground.
the ground, yeah.
So I'm thinking.
Hey, I can do
I
this.
might hit up Arms of Hadar real quick. Possibly.
Well, if we're doing any type of combat, we got to do initiative. Roll yours.
Thank you.
Ooh. That's another 19.
I also got a 19. I got 18 and then initiative plus 1.
Oh, well, I got a total of 21, but like I rolled another 19.
Nice.
I still haven't created anything though.
Nobody has. I don't think.
I got a 16 for initiative.
16 total.
Mm-hmm. Just go run through there doing a sword burst. That might not be a terrible idea.
I hate doing initiative. I need to get an app for this. do. Where's my D20? It's somewhere. Funk.
Over the rainbow.
Thank you.
Oh.
I just dropped a D20 on the ground. That's what that sound was.
Waiting for initiative, yeah.
No pressure.
I think you need a montage.
Montage.
No, I know what I want to do. I want to try to cast something at one of them. Got it. Shut.
Plus, we're waiting for her too. So.
Not much. Man. Today's a whole shift too, 10:30 to 7. That's like whole day.
Stretch.
Stretch.
1, 2, 3. Stretch. All right. So impromptu break is now over. And first is a Keknik. What are you gonna do? You see this guy go down, and then you see.
Can I use
Tough to grass, run away.
a bonus action before I actually attack to, like, perception check and like
That would
see
be
what...
an action.
Oh, dang it.
Let me see.
Not your entire action, like not your bonus and all that. It would just be your straight up.
Oh wait, I had to figure something out then.
Something you can do.
Yeah, perception check.
You know what I mean?
Then your bonus action can
To
be
see
a warning.
what the hell enemy this is. Okay, not
No.
gonna happen.
You see grass. You've actually lost the one that you had eyes on.
No.
Did he roll a 1?
You rolled a 2.
Oh, okay.
I was close.
What's your bonus?
Next is Eithne. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna
I imagine you want to get up, get down,
Get up, Bob.
Yep.
Get up.
get on that dance floor
Yeah.
of
I'm
death.
I'm gonna hurl a fireball at it.
Holy!
Oh. Fireball him.
Where?
Just let me
At-
take a moment.
As
It's such a
in the
fucking
direction where I
masterpiece.
saw the bird.
The birds?
Yeah.
Birds. Did I say something about birds?
Birds.
Like,
The things in the grass.
yeah, the things in the grass.
They're probably not birds.
Oh,
We
I
don't
thought
know
you
what
said
they
they
are. We
sounded
just know
like
they're
flying.
small and swift, and they're being hidden under the grass.
I imagine
see,
them
I'm
as
gonna
like
hurl a
slippery
fireball towards
shadows
the
right
grass.
now. Because I don't know what they look like.
Picture that.
And everybody else.
Oh no, everybody else is in there too.
I mean,
No, you
Kind of.
Go.
Well, aren't we camping right now? So I imagine it's like
grass is everywhere.
surroundings around us.
Oh yeah, that's a
where we
bad
are.
idea.
No, I was like, I didn't want to say anything. I wanted you to come to that conclusion on your own
Oh.
because I was ready to roleplay that. You said the whole fucking field on fire. It's just death and fire.
Everybody burns.
The whole grassland
Set
is
ourselves
gone.
free.
Yeah. Ah, yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Could I use frostbite?
Can you use frostbite?
I think I can.
Is that in your spell list?
Yes, they enter.
Cantrip.
Can you bite frost?
Bite frost. Yep.
Frosty biting.
It's DnD.
Dino.
We're gonna attempt to roll good during this fight.
I have so
That's it.
far not done so.
Watch me
Except for initiative, your initiative is madness. You've been rolling fighter crits all day.
I rolled a 1.
Like,
Doesn't like something crazy happen when
What
I
did you
roll a
do?
1?
Are you fireballing?
No, I was gonna frostbite.
Oh yeah.
But she rolled a 1.
But I rolled a 1.
What did you do? How does frostbite even work?
You preserve yourself
Wait,
in
what did
time
you
for
roll?
100 years.
A 1.
I mean, which dice did you roll?
This one. With a d6. So
To,
like-
to attack, you roll this one.
oh,
But what is frost? You have to read frostbite out loud. I have to understand
Okay,
what it does.
frostbite.
Because all spells aren't
You
you
cause
roll to
numbing
hit it.
frost to form onto a creature that you can see within range. The target must make a Constitution saving throw.
Yep.
On a failed save,
That's
the
why you
target
read
takes
the spell.
1d6 cold damage.
it's got
1d6.
importante information.
Now you roll the regular dice.
So you said Constitution.
Yeah.
What is the DC he's trying to hit? Flip your thing back over. Flip your sheet. Or wait, yeah, flip it. It should be at the top. Spell save DC 14. At the very top.
DC 14.
Yep. He rolled an 11. You didn't make it.
So he
So how
does
does the
take the
rest of-
damage, right?
Yeah, so how does the rest of the spell go?
Now you roll a d6.
And is there a side effect?
Cold damage.
I don't know.
Is there a side
The
effect
target takes
to not damage?
1d6 cold damage, and it has disadvantage on the next weapon attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn.
Okay. Wait. You have to be able to see this thing, right?
Oh yeah, it says you have to see within range.
Yeah, they're hidden.
Yeah, nobody can see this thing yet.
I can send magic missile in the direction.
This whole episode is just called Derp.
Derp, I'm sorry.
Derp, cast
Derp.
a spell. See what happens.
I cast it at the darkness.
Yes.
It'll hit something. Ooh.
What's up?
Troy, I have a question. Is there any way I could play around with this?
What?
Would this be possible to play around with, or would I have to actually be able to see them? So I would just have it on there.
No, you have to see it.
Okay. I'd be able to focus it at that.
It actually says on that spell that you have to see it. So what do you want to do?
Can't really do anything besides, set the whole thing on fire. I don't think I want to do that.
I mean, you can look for it. You can move. You can do anything. It's D&D.
Stomp on it
Just
with
because
your
something's in the grass doesn't mean it's like invisible. You know what I mean?
Right. So I guess I approach closer and try to see if I can figure out what it is.
So you're chasing down this tuft of grass that's like running.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. It's faster than you.
Okay.
It's outrunning you while
Alright.
this happens.
Does she get to see anything?
You would notice, and you would notice that this seems like it's luring her out into the grass. It's luring her away from everybody else.
Do I get a reaction? Like, no, stop.
I mean,
No.
you can talk. Do simple.
It's a trap! I say that, but not like that.
How do you say it?
This is a trap.
This
Yeah.
is a trap.
It is a trap.
This is a trap. This is a trap. This is a trap.
Next is the man who everybody has been conversing with so far.
Let's see, somebody who knows what's up.
The guy that I was just like, yeah, fuck you.
And you would understand his name. You would understand his name at this point
There's not much.
to be Mord. People call him Mord around the place. And he kind of grabs his large kind of machete dagger that he wields around, and he says, "Ghouls!" And everybody kind of scrambles to get weapons and stuff like that. Next, you also see him kind of grab these obsidian black kind of caltrops, and he tosses them into the fields around, and you see a couple people doing this.
So they dart around and they can hit the trap.
They're kind of creating a perimeter around the main camp. and all the men are kind of surrounding everybody else who's kind of gotten inside of the things. They've completely left the carcass to be safe. And next is your turn.
Okay, so in damn, I don't want to go over these caltrips because I think that would be unwise. But I think all of my spells require me to be able to see these things, and well, that's just not possible. So I'm
You
wondering.
can attempt to see them though.
Right, that's a good point. Perception. See if there's anything that I can do plausibly. 17 plus proficiency, so 19.
Yeah.
What's there to see?
Yep. What you see in between these grass blades shifting and winding around this form is a pale but also emaciated figure running on all fours. Its hand elongated to be almost a foot from here to fingertip, as it's like just nimbly sticking its fingers into the ground to control its movement, almost like it's climbing on a wall with such accuracy. The face of the creature is extremely gruesome, as you see patches of flesh are kind of missing, and a long tongue kind of flows out of his mouth, kind of flapping behind it as it moves, jerking in its direction.
Ooh, creepy crawlies. I like it. Alright, so seeing this, I crack my neck because it's something of a likeness that reminds me of a place that I spent a long time at. So, seeing that we got the traps set already, I'm going to just ready my weapon. There's not really much else to do.
I mean, you can relay the information to
Oh.
other people.
Okay, so in seeing them physically, do I note any weak spots?
You spotted
weaknesses?
one of them. You
Oh.
know where one is. But no, it's not wearing any armor.
Oh, so it's stationary currently.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I see one of them right there. Get it before he darts off again.
Right. So you relay that to everybody, and Mord, in reaction to this, says, "You heard him!" And you see people going into the houses really fast. Next will be you.
Is everybody within 30 feet of me?
Within 30 feet?
I would say
Yes.
so.
Yeah.
I'm going to cast Bless on all three of them. Therefore, when they make
Bless.
a target makes an attack roll or a saving throw before the spell ends, the target can roll an extra d4 and add it.
Okay.
Do an
So you
attack
guys
roll
can,
or a saving throw
whenever you guys roll your attack roll or saving throws, roll a d20 and a d4.
until somebody breaks my concentration.
Mm-hmm.
If we have in the
Ta-da.
dangers.
That's all.
Nice.
Extra dice. That was my turn.
Okay. Next, a patch of grass will kind of rustle near the outskirts, and it's going to get through the caltrops, and you see one of the guards kind of creating a formed circle, kind of disappear into the grass, as you see a large shifting mass of grass getting yanked away. Obviously it's carrying the man behind it.
Is the man audible?
Yeah. Yeah. You hear this man. Next up is the ghoul that you see, and he locks eyes with you for a moment, and you see him smile, and he runs into the grass as you are able to maintain visual sight of him. and he runs over and kind of doubles back on himself, and then tries to head towards where Ithne and where she is at, kind of right before the caltrop line. And the last kind of shuffling pile of grass is going to kind of try to go past the caltrops, and he's going to make it. And he is going to try to grapple Ithne. So give me an opposed strength check. So this would be a strength saving throw.
So I have 10.
So D20 and then a D4.
What's your modifier on that strength?
+0.
Yeah, just roll a D20 and a D4.
I think that's a 9.
And then your
And your D4 and add it.
2.
Yeah, he grabs you, and it sweeps your legs from under your feet, from under beneath you as your back hits the ground, and you feel a tug, pulling you towards the open field away from the settlement, and you take 4 piercing damage from caltrops as he drags you through them.
Ow.
Ashes.
Suddenly, shit got really serious.
Could I use magic missile? I could use magic missile against the guy that's trying to drag me away.
Well, it's not your turn.
Oh.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Next up is going to be the apprentice, you assume, of the man named Mord, and he's going to shout, "The caltrops! We're getting used to the caltrops! What are we going to do?" And Mord returns with, "Don't worry, they're coming." And next it comes back to a Keknik.
Okay, so is the other guy who got dragged away, like, dead at this point? Or is he still just being, like, dragged away and screaming?
Oh, he's still being dragged away and screaming.
Oh man, I'm gonna feel terrible for this.
So she is being dragged away screaming. Well, not, I don't know. She's being dragged away. But also so is this guy. Who was dragged through the spike
Okay, so
pit.
I guess I'm gonna try and do flurry of blows on the one dragging her away.
Well, you have to make your movement and move through the caltrops
Oh, okay.
to get close enough to punch it. So just a dexterity saving throw.
17.
Yeah, I mean, you made it. you like completely leap over the radius of the circle the caltrops were thrown, and you're on the other side, and you almost land right next to the thing that has her ankles in its one hand.
Well, see, okay. If I do this well enough, then I'm just gonna roll for attack and see if I can describe this in the right manner. Nope.
Nope.
Well, hang on.
Is that
Trace.
Wait, what do you get?
So 7 plus 12 total.
12 meets the armor class.
So it hits.
You hit it.
Thanks for that spell.
Did you just roll a 2 and hit?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So like, okay, I want to implement this somehow. As I leapt, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna miss, and I like wobble, and like, I don't know, you see like a bright aura flash for a second. That's the blessing. And then somehow I reposition myself and like stomp right on the guy. So that's 1d4 twice plus 2. No,
you
plus,
gotta roll to hit. Oh, you did roll to hit, my bad.
but I gotta roll to hit the second one actually.
No. It's the only thing on the dice that would not let you do it. No.
Okay, so for the first one, then
Dun, dun, dun.
That's 2.
2 plus, okay, so 5. 5 physical damage, or as I like to call it in this case, stomp damage.
Yeah, he takes that 5 stomp damage.
Right to the face.
They're lucky they didn't gather in a cluster.
Next is Ithne. You are now freed from the grasp. Well, actually, make a strength saving throw opposed check again.
Did she get advantage on that because I just stomped on this dude?
The other dude gets disadvantage.
Oh, that works.
So
It's just a D20 and a D4.
14 and a 2.
16. Yeah, he didn't make it. So he let go of you. You are free to do whatever you want. Getting up takes half of your movement.
Alright.
But
So
we're within reaching distance of him at this point.
Mm-hmm.
so
And you see it.
I see it. I see it. Okay.
Most importantly.
That helps. I'll just use magic missile towards it.
Point blank at the jugular.
Yep.
Is that a first level spell?
Yes, it is.
Actually, you already cast that once before, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I did. So can I not do it again?
How many spell
Didn't
slots do you
you-
have?
Did you set up your spell slots when we leveled you up?
Uh,
Which spells you were gonna have ready? But also, since you used that spell, I need you to roll on the table of wild magic.
what dice are those?
Both D10s. The ones with the zeros and the ones with the regular. Help her up.
What?
Help her up?
This
With
one?
what?
Yeah, that one and the other D10.
I think you have
Same
them
shape.
both next to each other.
This one? Okay. So what's that? 16.
Should be 16. Are you looking at
Huh?
the cheap?
A 16?
Yep.
This should be interesting.
That's always a good thing to hear.
So did you figure out which spells you had ready?
Yeah.
You had it written down?
Yeah, it says magic missile, earth tremor, comprehend languages.
Do you want to get rid of that Earth Tremor for a magic missile?
Sure.
Okay, I'll let you do that. Well, fuck, man. None of these.
1d6 for each
Are high
spell
enough
level
res.
of first.
I didn't think I'd have to fucking pull this out. I don't even have the book that's in.
It says you cause a tremor in the ground in a 10-foot radius.
You're doing Earth Tremor?
Yeah.
I mean, I told you you could get rid of that one for magic missile if you wanted to.
Plus, I think Earth Tremor would affect me since I am on
Yeah.
top of him right
Yeah,
now.
it's probably a bad idea.
Didn't you replace Earth Tremor with something?
Yeah, magic missile.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Inkas. As
I
you
mean,
did.
didn't I, when you leveled up, didn't I tell you you could completely, like, replace it out of your spellbook with something? Because you told me you didn't like it then.
Yeah, I did.
That's fine, just take that into account next time.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Here we go. This is what I was looking for.
I still can't find what I was looking for.
Get lost.
Here it is. 16, right?
Yeah. It's 10 and 6, so yeah.
Okay, so that was for the first magic missile you cast like a while ago, and you wouldn't have really noticed anything, but you regained 5 hit points at the start of your turn for a minute after that. So, I mean, that had already happened, and you didn't really notice it because you weren't hurt. Roll another one for this next magic missile you're casting. The 2 d10s.
3.
0-3.
Yep.
For the next minute, you can see any invisible creature if you have line of sight to it. Which would be useful if these were actually invisible creatures.
Right.
It's line of sight that's the problem. That's funny.
Was that the random
Yeah.
spell? That's awesome.
That's the wild magic. I bookmarked the
It
page.
actually was possibly useful.
Some of the
it
shit
tried.
is literally fucking crazy.
It sounded like it would have helped. Other than the fact that they're not actually invisible. It's just weird that it was random and it actually was close.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. So go ahead and do your magic missile damage. That's 1d4 plus 1. Or, well, 3d4s plus 1.
2. 5. So 7. 7 total.
Total? Alright, the creature lets out a loud shriek. And as you kind of pierce its skin with these magic missiles, they kind of create little pulses of explosions, and an odor kind of rings in the air, that almost makes you sick, but you keep your composure. As pieces of him are missing, as he's still.
This is really draining.
He's still okay.
He's just standing there with holes in him.
Mord is going to shout, and somebody throws a torch, and he catches it easily.
Nice. Natural 20.
I get to keep these now. He catches the torch, and he shouts, "Hurry up with the walls!" And at this point, you see the large mass of people that went into the houses. They come out. Each of them are carrying this large 5-foot wide studded wood built with wood spikes on the outside of it, like shields, but they're like massive wall-sized shields, and they set them into the ground and they link them up together, and they're starting to set up a barrier of those around the entire before where the caltropped. You know what I mean?
Oh damn. Okay. And this is something that's like taller than us?
It's just as tall as the grass.
Okay. So these things don't really jump then.
I mean, if they do, then they're visible, and 30 people could take one down.
Easily. What's the
And you think
invisibility?
that in around 2 turns, this wall will be complete.
Okay, so we're gonna defend it while they're building. So I guess that means whose turn is it?
Orion, yeah, it's your turn.
Okay.
Brother.
Alright.
It's your turn,
Hey.
brother.
So
roll that die.
Roll that die.
that other
brother.
one's still not visible then, huh?
Actually, roll passive perception just to see if you've kept track of it.
16 total.
Yeah, you've kept track of it.
Okay. So is this line of sight between him and me?
Yeah, you see him,
Walker?
and he's running towards these two who are fighting another creature,
So seeing him.
which now they've matted the grass down so much that you can see.
Okay, so I'm going to just kind of eyes locked on him. I'm going to hear it. That bell. That loud dong. And everyone is going
Like
to
the
just kind of look
Undertaker
around
coming.
like.
Everybody hears this, and
It's
actually
just-
the people in the camp are all are like looking in towards the sky, and they're like, "What's happening now?"
Real quick.
For whom the bell tolls. You're fucking dead.
Okay, so he's.
Oh, actually, for the one that they're attacking has been injured and is visible because they've matted down the.
So I'm just looking at him. Everybody can hear this
I'm gonna throw it away
intensity.
after this.
Okay.
D12. Is that this one? Yeah.
He's got 12 sides up. Well, did he need to roll a saving throw or anything like that?
Yeah, that's right. Hold on. Okay, yeah. He's got to succeed a wisdom saving throw. Sorry. Or
Wisdom
take,
saving throw.
yeah, or take the 1d12, which I rolled as an 8.
Well, you can re-roll it
Alright.
because you did it out of order.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to say that.
Do wisdom. Okay, simple. 15.
Oh damn.
What's his saving? What is your DC? What's your
Uh,
spell save DC?
spell save? Oh shit. Well, I gotta roll a d12 for it. It doesn't say. He takes the 1d8 or the 1d12 of necrotic damage.
Your personal spellcaster DC.
Oh shit. Okay, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's a d6. My head dice is.
No, your DC.
I should know where that is.
It's like the aloe vera water.
It should be in your spellcasting stuff.
Spell DC. Plus proficiency plus intelligence minus 11. Okay.
What?
I must have written something down verbatim for what I saw probably online.
8 plus proficiency equals 10 plus intelligence mod. What's your intelligence modifier?
Intelligence mod 8.
It's not 5.
No. It's 1.
Yeah, so he succeeds.
You're not allowed
What
to
happens
table.
then?
1d8.
I know if we let her on one, she'll think it's okay all the time.
Are you sure? Or is the 1d8 just because it's not hurt?
It's,
Well, it's either 1d8 or 1d12.
yeah, the 1d8 would just be if it weren't injured. The 1d12 would have been if it were injured. If it passed. Okay, hold on. Target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take that damage. If missed. So nothing happens. The spell just didn't work.
That's weird, but I like it.
Basically, I
You
think
can actually see
is what
from
happened here.
The owl floating.
He passed the wisdom save,
It's
so
weird, but it tastes good.
he kept on going.
He wasn't affected.
Damn. So the bell stopped. You just heard that a couple times. People were probably confused. Would that have had any effect on the creature?
Y'all just heard some bells.
Don't care. He's still ravenous.
Oh
shit.
Next is your turn.
That's
Okay.
Look at the roll.
It's the luck of the Irish, laddie.
Aye.
Can you tell me what I'm looking at right now? Because I'm not really sure where I am compared to everybody else.
I mean, you're in the center of this.
Just in the center?
I mean, what do you need to know? I mean, what?
How close
Just-
am I to...
Be more specific with your questions.
Have we been keeping track of where people...
That doesn't mean stop asking questions. Speak to me, woman.
How close am I to the thing that I need to attack?
You can get there.
Yeah, you got movement. That's part of your turn. Run
In
up on
that
him.
case, I am going to swing my hammer at it. Because why not?
Swing that hammer.
Swing that hammer. I rolled a 1.
I saw that. No, you don't hit it.
No, I don't.
In fact, before you go to swing, you drop your hammer and nothing's in your hands.
Nice.
Damn ones.
I'd say I get to keep a thing of dice, but
Oh, damn.
I'm
No,
right.
not a crit fail.
crit fails don't count.
No,
That's still a crit.
no. It's not.
Critically failed.
You get to
That's
give
the
me your
best
dice
kind
now.
of fail.
Those are my dice now.
No. My
We play for pinks.
Give me the car. Anywho.
The man is going to continue screaming
Continue
as
to
the
beat the
ghoul drags him away as the sound gets quieter. You can barely see the grass moving at this point from where you are. The ghoul that was running towards you guys, but was not attacked by you, is going to try to leap up onto Yukeknik, and I'm going to have to do a strength versus strength,
Test your might.
and you get a D4 on that
Oh,
a
yeah.
saving throw.
Kill. 9 plus 3. 12.
Total?
Plus your modifier?
You fail.
Damn.
He latches onto your torso, and with his weight, you fall into the ground. And
This one hasn't taken any damage, correct? This is the one that hasn't taken damage, right?
Right.
Okay.
So he brings you to the ground, and he misses you with his claws. As they go into the dirt behind your head. But you have to make a Constitution saving throw. 10 or higher. Constitution. Add your Constitution to it. Plus, it's a saving throw.
All right. I don't think my Constitution's very high at all. Oh, +1. Okay, so nope, it's still too low.
What did you roll? I thought you rolled a 7.
Oh, I rolled a 1.
You rolled a 1?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
pretty sure.
I thought it was a 7.
I mean, if you want to say it was a 7, then I have enough.
I mean, I think it was a 7.
Okay, we'll
Um,
just go with that then. So that would be, yeah, like...
but yeah, you just barely make it as the stench of these beasts kind of fills your nose. Next is Aithne, and make a Constitution saving throw. So roll the d20 plus the d4 plus your Constitution.
Resolve this conflict.
So 20.
Yeah, you make it. He
No
smells pretty
questions
bad, but it doesn't affect you illly. Now, how would you
Bless you. Bless
like
you.
to act?
Everybody gets one.
She doesn't care. She's like, yeah, that's dead. Yeah. So now you see your companion get taken down by one of these guys on his chest, and the ghoul who was getting his ass beat in is now starting to get up.
What do?
Do attack the thing that is attacking my buddy. So
And you said he was being dragged?
right.
No, yeah, I'm just like
Someone got
wrestling with this dude right now.
Yeah.
So he's not like holding you?
Well, he's on top of me, but like he hasn't damaged me yet.
I can't really.
I'm like on the ground now. I'm laying down because he
Do
was like on top of me.
There's nothing I have.
He
that I
jumped
can
on his
attack
torso
him
like a girlfriend who
Could
was
grapple
too
him.
heavy.
with. To grapple him.
You ever seen Norbit?
So what do I do? Roll and then have strength or whatever if I grapple him?
You want to try to grapple the grappler?
Yep.
Like throw him off of me or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So it would just be the same thing we've been doing. Strength, d20, d4.
You gotta
So 14.
You do it.
home after this encounter.
Hmm?
So you gotta get home after this encounter. Sadly.
So I rolled a 14.
The people I need to talk to that are gonna be leaving. Yeah, so I gotta work in the morning.
Yeah, 14 passes. What do you want to do to him?
Just wanna throw him off.
You do it. You throw him off. He lands 5 feet away. Mort is going to grab one of the wall pieces and clink it in and head to go grab another one as he's watching the borders, shouting, stay in sight of somebody. Don't get out too far. And the group is going to put another set of walls in place as there's only one more turn until it's complete. And next is Orion's turn.
Dang. Okay, so still being in sight, I want to man, I only got the one slot for that for my little house bells skit here. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll for an attack and just try to hack at this
Hell's
motherfucker.
Bells was a cantrip, wasn't it?
Was it okay? You know what? You're right, Paul. So let's make that wisdom saving throw once more as the bells begin to chime.
No, he makes it.
Fuck this guy.
Easily.
Easily.
18.
Jeez. What a waste.
He now wants dinner because he heard a
He doesn't even have a modifier on that. He's just rolling the dice.
Okay. Well, damn, what else can I do? Shit.
So you're just pointing at this guy,
I can't
and then
make any.
you hear bells, and then he puts his arm down, and then he does it again, and then he puts his arm
I
down.
can't make like a grapple or anything.
Oh my
I
god.
mean, is this thing still?
Well,
up?
isn't your spellcasting instantaneous?
Essentially,
So you can make
it
an
counts as a
action.
move though, right?
It counts as an action, yeah. It happens instantaneous, but the spell takes time to cast. Poof.
Well, that was a waste.
You gotta hold the point for 6 seconds.
It was like, dun.
Hey, fuck
Nope.
you! This one's
Yeah.
trouble.
Didn't load. Not connected to the Wi-Fi here.
So, you can still speak and move and stuff like that. I mean, I'd hate to let you.
I'm gonna move towards it. That way, at least if I can be in a defensive sort of state to try to help out once I can. If it takes a saving throw. Then.
Alright, next to the door.
Next is the dwarf. Awesome sauce.
Let's kill these fuckers. Let's fuck these killers. I mean, not that.
What?
What? Do your thing,
Okay.
woman.
There's a woman.
A woman. She is a woman.
Alright, so I'm going to turn to the...
You gonna turn to a
What is
bear?
it called?
What? I don't know what you're talking about, so I don't know what it's called.
The thing that was just grappling them.
The ghoul.
The ghoul. Or a goblin? Ghoul.
It's not a goblin.
Not a goblin, gotcha.
No.
Okay.
This is a fucked up goblin. Way too tall.
Alright, so I'm going to... Oh no, that's not going to work. Never mind. I'm going to swing my hammer at it. Once again.
Swing your hammer at it. Don't you have smite and stuff like
Nothing
that?
else will...
Like, don't you have smite and stuff?
No. Yes, maybe.
I mean, okay.
Smite doesn't really help me though.
It hits harder. Okay.
Well...
We went over your character and stuff.
Well, I can use that, and it was a spell slot removed, right? Okay, well, I guess I will smite my weapon as well when I hit
How
it.
many spell slots do you have? Because you used one for bless, right?
Yeah, I have 2.
Okay.
This
You
is
can
my
use the
last
other one.
Yeah.
Which one are you gonna hit? The one that's on our dragonborn friend over here, or the one that's in front of Ithne?
The one by Ithne.
Station myself beside you.
Oh wait, no, it's not even
Do
on him
something
anymore.
cool,
Yeah.
but he's smart.
At this point, you hear the man scream, somehow get closer as he's panting, and he slips through one of the cracks of the walls as they're sliding it in place. And he's picking these black caltrops carefully out of his back. And he doesn't look too good, but he got away with his life. You gonna really roll your hit and damage and stuff?
That was just really random, but I rolled it. I already rolled it. It was a 2.
Well, I was filling dead time because you were reading.
7.
You rolled a 2?
I rolled a 2, and then
No, you don't hit it.
plus proficiency and strength, right?
I mean, yeah, but I mean,
So-
7 doesn't hit it.
7 doesn't hit it. Okay.
No. Next, the ghoul that just got flung off of you is gonna go, and he's gonna like take a look and see the wall being built, and he's gonna start to scamper away. And the ghoul that you tried to hit just now and is in front of Anthony is also gonna like get up, see the other one running away, and look back and kind of release a like a scream, yell, bark, and it's gonna run away.
Suddenly so docile.
And it's a Kekik's turn.
Okay, so
Now they've gotten into the field of grass again. And all you can see is the shapes of the grass moving.
Okay, are they close together at this point?
Yeah.
Okay. It's
One
time.
of them's right behind the other one.
Okay, I want to shoot as close together as I can to the, or as in line as I can to the two that are behind each other. With my acid breath.
And how does that work?
It's like a cone shape of 15 feet, but 30 feet.
I don't think it's a cone shape. I think it's for acid dragons. It's a line, which would still work if they're one behind each other. Where is the?
I think it's of 30 feet, though.
Well, the line one goes further than the cone.
This might make Moid freak out a little bit. This might make Moid freak out a little bit. They're like, whoa, what? Okay, no, I was worried about you before.
Oh yeah,
man.
a 5 by 30 foot line of acid.
Yeah.
You want to get trippy, man?
Yeah, the furthest one out is actually 30 feet out.
Okay, cool.
So you could just catch them in it. Both of them. What needs to happen?
Each creature in the area of the exhalation must make a dex saving throw.
What's the DC? I mean, what do they have to pass on their saving throw?
8 or higher. Wait, plus my constitution modifier, which is 0 anyway. No, it's plus 1, so 9 plus proficiency, which is 11.
One of them barely makes it, and the other one makes it. What happens when they make it?
So they have to take
it's not
2d6
When they both.
on a failed save.
Or what about on a past save?
Or half of that, so
1d6.
2d6 in half.
Or just roll 2d6 and then split it in half.
My spell DC is 11.
Wow, I failed all of those rolls. Holy shit.
So that's 1 damage
Yeah, 1 acid damage.
to one of the targets.
Yeah.
Roll 2 more for the one behind him. No, this one.
5, 3, 8.
8,
4.
half that 4. You see patches of their flesh kind of sizzle as the grass kind of all melts, leaving away this like barren dirt substance. And when it's cleared out, you can kind of see bits and pieces of bone kind of strewn about the bottom of the tufts of grass. Next is Iceny. And the enemies are fleeing at this point.
I try to regroup with everybody.
Yeah, you actually think that you guys should. Well, initiative is broken at this point. Everybody, they're running away. And you think it'd probably be a good idea to get behind the wall before they close it.
So I'd get in there, and if they have someone holding open whatever entrance there is, we're just trying to get people to.
You guys all kind of rush into the last panel of the wall that Mord himself is holding open, and once he kind of sees you all run in, kind of counts the heads, he puts it in place and jams it into the ground, and that's where we're gonna leave it.
All right.
Sounds good.
Sweet. Ghouls are fun, especially coupled with bad rolls.
So who all am I taking home?
I'm still Jenny from the block.
You're staying, right?
I mean, I wouldn't have any blankets or anything.
Yeah, we have blankets.
You good?
Yeah, there's a clean blanket in the linen closet upstairs.
What about pillows?
The new
We have
Jack
enough pillows.
Skellington.
We have enough pillows, yeah.
We're good.
Okay. You can stay this time.
I mean, whatever's more convenient for you guys, it don't matter.
I can save Morgan from driving.
I didn't roll any crits.
The less driving I do
So
with
sad.
that break right now,
Any
the better.
XP?
Oh no, how's your break?
I haven't gotten it changed yet.
Well, we kill a rhino at least.
If you
Grinding.
Yeah.
that's no good.
That can come in at a later point.
Oh shit. Alright, so try to bank on next Saturday.
Next Saturday. Sounds good.
And hopefully I won't be so blah about everything.
Same here. I
I'll try to be
creativity block like you wouldn't believe.
I'll actually try to be over later. Everything going on.
Actually, you gotta get off my phone now.
Is this just a set?